Charles on there as well. We checking out audiobooks. We checking out an audiobook by Juicy J from the legendary hip hop group 66 Mafia. 36 Mafia. One of my groups I grew up listening to. Let's go and check it out, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction. Hit that thumbs up button.
We were tired of getting burned at our concerts, so we made a show tape, the backing music we'd perform to at shows, without Coops to Nicka, a show tape with no Lord Infamous, a show tape without Crunchy Black. DJ Paul and I also decided that we'd start doing the first verses of our songs because we knew both of us would make it to every show. Thankfully, the shows kept coming and the albums kept selling. With the success of Mystic Styles and The End, major labels were starting to reach out to us. We flew to New York to meet with Cliff Coltrane and Alan Grunblatt from Relativity Records. The label had an incredible roster at the time, including Common, Fat Joe, The Beatnuts, Eazy-E, MC Ren, Chi Ali, Cocaine, Drew Down, Above the Law, Bone Thugs and Harmony, M.O.P., The Dayton Family, and my old friends, 8 Ball and MJG. Paul and I met Cliff and Alan at a restaurant. When they walked in, I thought they looked like Italian gangsters. They even set up the table and sat like it was a scene out of The Godfather. But they were big bosses at a record label. If anything, they were corporate gangsters. What I liked about Cliff and Alan was that they didn't try to take or buy our music publishing. That was unlike every other label we'd ever spoken with. That's how the music industry was set up at the time. But I didn't like that because I thought the labels were just being greedy. They wanted to have you as an artist and your publishing too. The industry was big on finessing artists. They didn't just try either. They did a great job at it. I never wanted to sell my publishing though. Even then, I was thinking that my publishing would feed me when I was old. But at that time, the major labels wanted to own everything. One of my favorite things was that they owned the studio where they wanted you to record. Then they'd charge you to use the studio to record your songs for them. Relativity did that to us anytime we'd record at Sony Studios. Relativity was a Sony subsidiary. Just like Fab Five Freddy, Cliff and Alan flew down to Memphis. We introduced them to Lord Infamous, Gangsta Boo, Crunchy Black, and Coops to Nicka. Everything went well, and since Relativity gave us what we wanted, we signed with them. Cliff was our A&R and main point person at the label. This was our first time having an A&R, a publicist, a national street team, and marketing people pushing us. We were now part of the machine. The great thing about Relativity Records was that, for the most part, they let us do what we wanted to do. Paul and I handled all the music and picked all the singles. Relativity handled the promotion. It was a great arrangement. Our single, Tear the Club Up 97, appeared on Chapter 2, World Domination, our first album released through the major label system. We were excited because, unlike the earlier versions of the song, all 6 members are featured on Tear the Club Up 97. Back in those days, a major label deal was the biggest thing in music. Fans around the country were finally going to get to see all of 36 Mafia once the song's video hit the box, BET, and MTV. The extra muscle in the music industry with the media and retailers made you a superstar overnight. It was like being a basketball player going from college to the NBA. Whether you end up selling records or not, you have it made. It might be difficult to imagine today, but back in 1997, Southern rap had yet to be taken seriously. Yes, Scarface, Outkast, and Goody Mob were major acts, and Master P and UGK were exploding. but most of the music industry's attention was still focused on artists from the East Coast: Wu-Tang Clan, Busta Rhymes, Mace, Puff Daddy and the Family, Nas, Lil' Kim, Mobb Deep, and the West Coast: Tupac Shakur, West Side Connection, Mac 10. Artists from the South were largely dismissed, even though they had started selling millions of albums. Other than 8-Ball and MJG, who had relocated to Houston, no one had broken through from Memphis, which made it harder for us to earn immediate respect, but also gave us an advantage. Memphis didn't have a signature sound to the rest of the country.